Hey guys, welcome everyone. Just setting up the studio with OBS to stream to YouTube at the same time. It it may or may not work. I think it is working. So I'm just getting more people to getting more people invited right now. Looks like my co-hosts are coming.
Hello, hello. How you doing, amazing Senians and Jack? What's up?
Things are great. Sunny Hawaiian Wednesday right now. 86 degrees. The sun is out. It's beautiful. It may rain tomorrow, um, but so far
Hey guys.
it's been really good. I need to go do some surfing.
Don't talk about sun, Jack. It's raining here in Europe. It's horrible. It's dark.
Well, you know how it is. It's when we have the contrast in life, we get to appreciate the good things in life. Like if you lived on an island the whole year, then you probably would be begging for some cold and rain. That's actually what a lot of Hawaiians do. They move to Canada because they're sick and tired of the beautiful weather. So they love Canada. They moved to the British Columbia, to those islands that remind them of Hawaii, but it's much cooler.
Yeah, I think they're moving away again after uh, last couple of years, maybe. I missed the wild pigs though in Hawaii. They were cool. They were funny. They were just running around, being self-sovereign.
Self-sovereign. Yeah, I haven't seen them so far. I haven't seen them, but maybe they're in the middle of reproducing or something like that. They're busy. They're busy. Those pigs.
Yeah, guys, exciting. We level up the AMAs now. Good to see so many people here today. We have a lot of stuff going on. As always, things are moving fast. We are just creating, and we're very excited for new things coming out for Zen and for Xenians and for the world. We're going full on for adoption, and you can ask us anything from Zen FTs to Zen protocol to adoption, whatever you want. Isn't that right, Jack?
Exactly. Yeah, we really wanted this to be kind of like a daily thing until we launch ZenFTs, and I'm sure there's a lot of questions about ZenFTs and Zen in particular. Pretty much, the whole ecosystem. So we wanted to take the opportunity to bring questions in and to talk about all of the aspects of Zen, where we've been, where we're going, what the future looks like. What do the numbers look like? I mean, there's a lot of interesting numbers that I wanted to share um, on this broadcast too. So yeah, let's go ahead and bring in some people. So Zensu, if you see
Yeah,
anybody, if you see
absolutely. I
anybody,
see we have three crypto here. This guy is interesting. The first interaction we had with him was that he made a video on YouTube about Zen, and it was about 10 minutes. I suggest you go to his YouTube channel and check it out. It was just like this guy gets it. He gets the concept, and he's made many videos since of Zen. How you doing? 333 crypto. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, good to see you, Zenzu. Good to see you, Jack. How are you, Jack?
things are great. Welcome to Twitter Spaces.
Well, I saw that Zenzu is in Europe, and I know you're in Hawaii, and I'm in Florida. So, like you, it's always happy and sunny here in Florida.
Yeah, we're covering half of the world at least, and I'm sure there's some people from Europe too.
Well, there's no doubt, isn't that kind of? I mean, it started on the West Coast and traveled to the East Coast and is in Europe, and ultimately, we do intend to span the globe. That's the way I see it, and our community continues to grow, and I love to see all the growth we have in Asia. Have you had any updates on any of the numbers from a growth perspective with users? Are we continuing to see growth in Asia?
Yes. So the number of users that I'm tracking, specifically the unique holders of Zen, and when I say unique holders, those are the people that have gotten Zen in three different ways. Either they bought it on the decentralized exchange, they bought it on Uniswap, or they minted it themselves. Those are the type of users that we're looking at. We're looking at the consolidated Ethereum addresses, and we see about close to 200,000 addresses. So 200,000 real users in just about a month, which is actually incredible numbers because we only so far the network effect has been limited, but as the days go by and as the months go by and as Zen gets more viral, we expect the ratio of the newcomers to increase. So, like for example, in about 3 to 4 months, we should be at a million unique users or unique holders, and then maybe in a year it's going to be more than 10 million. Who knows? But ultimately, the the thinking is that we're likely going to be larger than Doge, and definitely larger than Shiba. And you can actually look at those numbers. You can look at EtherScan. You can look at the BSC scan. You can look at the Polygon scan as well, and look at the total number of unique addresses being used. So now some people asked if those are multiple wallets belonging to the same person. So the way that this works is that when you start your mint or claim your C rank, you have yet to become a holder. So during the process of minting or waiting for the mint, you're not a holder yet. Now, when you finally consolidate your mint, you're very much likely, and this is what we see, you're likely to send all of the multiple addresses that you have created. It will those addresses will transmit Zen back to the origin address, like the origin address that belongs to you, to the user. And we do have a function on the website that actually allows you to consolidate all of the mints into one. And so those are the unique holders we're tracking. So that number, I would say, is fairly accurate. And across 9 chains that are minting in parallel, we're standing at about 200,000 people. Now, speaking of Asia, we just spoke with the OKC, OKX guys. They have their own exchange, they have their own chain. We're going to be launching there within days. We're super excited about it because, unlike other chains that we have launched before, with those guys, we've been talking for about at least 2 weeks pre-launch. So they're doing a lot of engagement with their Asian population. They're writing tutorials. They're explaining what Zen is, why it's good to mint, the history behind it, the origin, so on and so forth. So it's going to be I would say somewhat of a different launch in a way that they have definitely have prepared uh, before we push the button, so to speak. And it's going to be within days, definitely, probably either tomorrow or the day after. We're going to do the usual thing. We're going to put a countdown on our website, and once the countdown ticks to 0, then we're gonna go live.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I kind of look at things from a YouTube channel perspective, and and from a viewer perspective. And I just wanted to take a second and say thanks to all the viewers from all around the globe. I mean, we have active engagement with folks in India, Asia, South America, Central America. The U.S., of course, Europe, Africa. It's really unbelievable the amount of support that Zen has. And I would encourage anyone that's here listening, when you go to the YouTube channel and you're checking out videos, of course, I'm always happy when you check out my videos, but please go support any YouTuber that is making videos on Zen, even if they have a small brand new channel. If they're putting the effort in, listen to what they're saying, and follow them and support them also, because Zen isn't just about a cryptocurrency. It's really a movement. It's really a family. It's kind of just this big extended family that kind of reaches all around the globe. And our common denominator is the Zen token. So thanks, Jack. Thanks, Zen Zal, for everything y'all are doing.
Yeah,
Thank you
you're
so
absolutely
much.
right. Thank you.
You're always so humble. And just to add to that, when we're speaking about the worldwide reach, if we look at the Google Analytics for Send Network, it's truly remarkable because we can see engagement from all over the world, and we are accelerating the Telegram community with language groups. They're going to be many coming out in the far future, in the near future. So we have the main Telegram group, and then you can also go to your language specific group to interact with people in more local area. So it's just amazing to see the worldwide spread of Zen just by looking at the numbers.
Well, and I know we're going to surpass Doge fairly soon, but I'll tell you one thing: surpassing them in wallet numbers or whatever is one thing, but I think the distribution of tokens will prove to be more equitable than your Doges and your Shibs and things in the future. Also, I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Jack?
Distribution of tokens. Well, we have made Zen to be the most widely available with crypto with the lowest barrier to entry. So we expect the least friction, obviously. So anybody can get Zen. There was a lot of obviously questions on like when is the mint gonna stop? It's usually asked by people who don't do any research. They just jump into Zen from a marketplace or an exchange, whether it's Uniswap or centralized exchange, and then finally they do the research and they realize that Zen is super inflationary within the first number of years. Now it is true that Zen is inflationary and it may actually end up getting minted to into trillions, but my philosophy behind it is that the absolute numbers do not matter. So whether it's a trillion, quadrillion, quintillion, those are just numbers with zeros behind them. But what really matters, the real number that matters, are the holders and the people who have got involved with Zen one way or another through the mint or by any other means. So that is what's important. Is that we wanted the Zen to be attractive, just because it's so easy to get, and we wanted to bring the obviously the no coiners, people who haven't been into crypto yet, and I think we're succeeding so far. And also us being so inclusive, we're not trying to create a tribe of people, not trying to create an exclusive club. We want to be on every chain out there. We want products to be built on top of Zen. And one of the things we've seen Popcorn Guys implementing Zen as the staking token. We're also obviously planning to release our first, I would call Zen app or Zen utility project, ZenFTs. So ZenFTs will be consuming Zen by offering people to burn as much Zen as you want. And there's three types of series that we're releasing. The rare series, we call them rare because they're truly going to be rare. It's 1 through 10,000, so it's the series that are numbered. Those series have classes, and each class requires you to burn, uh, quite a bit of Zen. The second series is going to be what we call limited. Those are going to run for a year, so they're limited by time, but unlimited in free mint. So all of the ZenFTs are free to mint. You will just need to specify as your input uh, the total number of VMUs, which is equivalent of the number of wallets, which will translate into gas spent. So that's one input. And the second input is Zen burned. So if you specify 100, 128 VMUs and you specify a billion Zen to burn, that will mint you, well, a free NFT, because we're not selling that NFT. You're literally bringing NFT to the world yourself, which is in line with the first principles of Zen. And what that will do for the liquid supply, it will severely diminish the supply and will make it less available, at least on the marketplace. Now you can still mint your Zen, that's unlimited, but the Zen that's floating around, that's going to be becoming more and more scarce. So it's really two forces, like yin and the yang. So the yin portion is that the mint. So Zen will be minted, obviously, will continue to be minted, and these NFTs will consume the supply that's being produced.
So that,
That's
in
exactly
essence,
right.
is the deflation to counter the inflation.
Right. It's super exciting.
Yeah, it's a battle. It's a battle of the forces, so to speak, like fire and water, which is which is very Zen-like in the, in itself, I would say.
Now, I've had some questions from viewers on if let's say I burn 100 million Zen and I mint an NFT for 100 VMUs, and I claim that out at 400 days, will I get back my initial burn?
You will not get your initial burn, because the true burn is what it means. You literally make it disappear. So Zen's smart contract, the original Zen's contract, has the proof of burn function. It will get rid of Zen by sending it to the null address and actually reducing the counter for the total supply too. So you cannot get it back, but you will get it in the future with your future mint that the NFT will produce for you.
Exactly, exactly. So that was just a question that a couple viewers were confused about, and that's how I thought it worked. But I just wanted to get clarity on that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's why we're doing those AMAs, because this stuff is complex, yet it is simple enough. And obviously, the best way to get into an understanding of anything is to practice it. And we hope people will practice making those NFTs.
Right. And another question, Jack, that folks ask a lot is about the market for the NFTs. Clearly, if I burn, 1 billion Zen, and then, mint, my tokens from that after the burn, and that's minted as an NFT or packaged as an NFT, I'll be able to sell those on the secondary market. And viewers just wanted a little more clarity on how that secondary market might work.
So there's a number of NFT marketplaces. One of them, the most popular one, is OpenSea, and you can see that even within the bear market, the NFT market is holding pretty well. Like OpenSea is always showing up as one of the top burners in the Ethereum or Ethereum-like networks. There's others out there, not as popular, but still will be available for people to uh, trades NFTs. And one of the interesting things is that I'm hoping that people that will be creating NFTs will be able to also trade them. So you will be able to either buy NFT on the secondary market, just like you can buy Zen on the secondary market, or you can definitely mint it for yourself for free, and then wait, let's say 100 days, 200 days, 300 days, and then sell it. So it's kind of like you're selling a certificate of the future mint, and at the same time, it also carries the record of how much Zen you have burned.
Excellent, excellent. Thanks for sharing that, Jack.
Hey, 363 Crypto, amazing to see you here. We're going to let out other speakers here. There's so many questions coming in. But good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you and all the work you do. Tad Ape, do you have
Thank
a question?
Yeah, I do, guys. Thanks for letting me come up here. It's a pleasure and super appreciate it. A little bit about me. I'm over here in Silicon Valley. I work in San Jose. I kind of geeked out when Jack dropped this project along with you, Zoo, because I used to work at Google a little bit as a bodyguard for Susan Wojcicki. And of course, like, it doesn't really matter if you work at Google, but to see that you were there so early, as when it was essentially a startup, is cool, because it means you're like an early adopter of tech and you appreciate innovation. So it's always rad to see someone that was in something so extravagant so early. I get my question is, I'm big on NFTs and I like showing Zen to my NFT buddies, but it's a whole different environment, right? We like to build a lot of clout behind the artist and the story. Zen has their story, but is there anything you can tell us about the graphic designs or art that would be generated for the NFT? Like, is it being created by a special artist, or you guys just kind of like whipping something up that you think is unique? Are you still feeling it out? Like, Is there any story behind the artwork?
Yes, so the question about the artwork. So in our creative design group, we have some people that are contributing designs. On the technical side, the way we're building it out, we really want the ZenFT's graphics to be on chain. So it's going to be, I would say, fairly simple SVG files that can be loaded on chain so that nobody can adjust or change anything. And as you know, and as we all know, generally NFTs are just JPEGs that live off chain somewhere else. So there's always been a lot of criticism for NFTs, like why would people buy JPEGs or trade JPEGs if those JPEGs could be potentially replaced with other images. So with NFTs, that's not going to be possible because each ZenFT that's minted is going to live on chain. So it's going to be secured by the blockchain and impossible to change.
I guess to add to that as well,
Cool.
the like entry point into the design of these NFTs has been from a very functional direction. So there are different properties which these NFTs will carry, and some of these properties come from Zen protocol, and some other comes from that they're more specific to the Zen torrent protocol, this new ERC 721 protocol. So since the NFTs are divided into three different categories, and two of these categories also have subdivisions in terms of classes, the as well as the NFTs will carry a lot of metadata, a lot of data from the underlying, so to speak, mint in terms of AMP, EAA, maturity date, C rank range, term days, etc. So when it comes to design, the important thing here is to have something that makes them distinct from each other first and foremost. So that has been the thing that has directed the design decisions, more so than to make something that is like primarily like aesthetically satisfying or something like that. So it's from a very practical function, but this is also the first step because we're going from one world to the other. We're bridging the crypto with the NFT market. So and this is just the first series of protocols for NFTs. NFTs is the umbrella name, and the Zen torrent protocol is the first implementation. So there will be many more opportunities for us to make. There's just, as you know, there's a vast variety of things you can do with NFTs, NFTs in general.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. It's important to note that you guys are doing something to where they can't change like the artwork or the graphic, because there's a couple of projects that do that. Devs will get upset and say, oh, you sold my NFT project for below a 0.08, therefore I'm gonna, like draw something silly on your artwork. And they do that, and they have done it, and they still are, which could be considered illegal, because it's like you're selling someone a car, but then you get mad when they try to resell it at a lower price, so you like go and vandalize it. So that's great that you guys are kind of safeguarding that.
Yeah, I mean, what you're pointing to there is also these different dynamics of NFTs. It's like in different communities, you're not supposed to sell below the floor and stuff like that. So these are all different value entities that you can play around with, and they have different sort of immutable rules, but also community sort of rules as well. So it's very exciting from many different points of view. Telegraph, I think it's your turn. Thank you, Tay-Day. Thank you for your questions.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for bringing me up, guys.
Let's see, Telegraph, or you want to say something? You can just unmute yourself. And then we have Tim after. Tim, yeah. So.
Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Okay. I have a question. security is most important things to consider when starting up a project or partnership. How secure this project for user and investor, because there have been a lot of hacking issue. For example, FTX, Luna, etc. There have Can we get information about your security system? That's it. Thank you.
Information about the security of Zen. So we're trying to do our best to keep the smart contract secure. That's why we pay for audits. We always get an audit company involved. Now with Luna and FTX, those are completely different things. With Luna, they had their own exchange, their own ecosystem, and they had a stable coin that failed due to instability of the Luna token that was securing their stable coin. With FTX, it was a liquidity issue. So both of those situations were really mostly financial rather than technical. So in our case, we're not obviously yet. We don't have our own blockchain that can fail. We also don't have the sort of economic or financial instruments that are connected to each other that may fail and cause a cascading effect. So it's quite different.
Thank you.
On that, it's pretty interesting to think about all these events that has happened, from anything from Celsius, Voyager, Three Arrows, FTX, BlockFi, etc. It's interesting to think about how much of those catastrophes could have been avoided if they had decided to build systems based on first principles instead. I would say you could basically lead to all of them. What do you say about that, Jack?
I totally agree. I mean, fortunately or unfortunately, this space, the crypto space, even though it's been around for 10 plus years, only in the last 3 years there has been an explosion of all kinds of financial instruments out there that can fail. And first principles really means self custody. And with Zen, we're amplifying the original, uh, I would say, Bitcoin or Satoshi's vision. We want Satoshi's vision to be as propagated as much as possible in the world. Where if you building an exchange, you almost guaranteed not to follow the first principles, because first of all, you don't offer your customers their own keys. Obviously, it's you're asking them to send money to the exchanges, and then if anything goes wrong with the exchange, you lose everything. So that is not what Zen stands for. We're not building an exchange. We're just trying to onboard people by enhancing first principles and letting everybody know that that's what blockchain and crypto technologies have been designed for, specifically self custody, open source, transparency, trust through consensus, all of those things. Unfortunately, if you run a centralized exchange, none of those things apply.
Tim.
Hey guys, thanks for hosting these AMAs. Jack, you've probably answered this question before, but when someone burns the Zen to create the Zen FT, and then the new holder of this, do they have the option to like remint all the Zen that was burned previously?
No, that's a negative. Once Zen is burned, it's burned. Um, However, if ZenFT has the future mint set to mint free Zen for you in the future, then you're gonna get that Zen, the newly minted Zen. So if you pass the NFT, whether it's over the counter or you use OpenSea to sell it, you actually will be selling the future mint too. So people will be aware, and we'll try to make it as transparent as possible that the future Zen mint is really like a yield for a certificate, which is the Zen FT. But anything that gets burned does not come back, which is actually important because we want to reduce the supply. We want Zen to be used by Zen FTs as if it's an application layer or a utility layer on top of Zen's ecosystem.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. It's a good question. Simple Waters, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks, Anzu. Guys, yeah, I'm super happy to be part of this community. I think that yeah, I'm just grateful to be able to ask a question. I guess I had a question just about minting and a little bit about the avalanche. And in my opinion, how come there's I guess just the question is how come there's not as much traffic on that? That chain and the early amplifier adopter is still pretty high. Do you have any understanding on why that is?
So the question about Avalanche and why it doesn't have as much traffic as everywhere else. So Avalanche, I would say, obviously it started as a non-EVM compatible chain, and they just created the I think they're called Avalanche C1, which is kind of like a side chain which is Ethereum compatible, but there aren't that many people on Avalanche yet, specifically on the Ethereum compatible side. But we hope that eventually that chain gets more popularity. It's really up to their internal team to make it popular and to make it easier. But we do see other chains that are not uh, that are more Ethereum compatible or being Ethereum compatible from the get go. For example, Polygon and Binance and even Dogechain. All those chains are natively Ethereum compatible, so they run EVMs, and they're actually larger in terms of activity. So Binance is huge. Polygon is the even bigger than Binance in terms of activity, and then of course Dogechain. That chain is quite interesting. It's only been around for like 45 days, and 90% of all transactions on Dogechain is now Zen, which is incredible actually.
Well, yeah, thank you. And then I guess I had one more question too, just as far as I've kind of tapped into a couple other Twitter spaces. That one that Richard was on recently. I mean, he's been on a couple recently, which is kind of fun to just hear him. And I think that people are starting to hear him a bit, which is very interesting. It just his isn't necessarily the easiest. But needless to say, I guess one thing that I heard was just like the bridges. So a lot of these chains and how they can be susceptible to attacks or just not as clean of bridging. With Zen, like the outlook with Zen and the future of it, the Omni chain. I mean that would probably solve that, right? And that's kind of like what the goal is.
So unfortunately, the bridge problem isn't solved by Zen because a bridge is just a server or a set of servers that exists across two or more chains. And there, what happens is when you bridge any token from one chain to the other, the origin side locks your tokens and they kind of sit in a wallet. So, like for example, in case of Dogechain, they have a very interesting setup. They let people bring in native Doge coins, and then they send those Doge coins into their chain over the bridge. The bridge locks the native Doge and then issues or mints wrapped Doge that is used as a gas token for their chain. Anytime if there is a security issue with that bridge, all of the Doge original Doge coin that's been copied or sent in can actually be lost. Unfortunately, the bridges are not really decentralized as much as we like. There is a project called Stargate. They're using this technology called atomic swaps, and generally they swap stable coins. Like, for example, between Polygon and Ethereum, you can bridge in or Stargate in your USDC, and the transfer, unlike with Plasma Bridge on Polygon, and you can play with the Plasma Bridge. Plasma Bridge takes about 30 minutes, where with Stargate it takes about 5 minutes to bridge everything over. And atomic swaps are more safe than the bridges that's been that's been in existence before, but there's still concern that any sort of like stable coins, for example, that get locked on one side may actually be stolen. So Zen unfortunately does not solve the bridging problem. The reason for Zen to exist on multiple chains is just to tap into person's favorite chain or tap into the population of those chains, so that we can pretty much, I would say, broadcast the message of first principles on every chain out there. And like, for example, if you were on Binance Smart Chain and not on Ethereum, and you got to learn about Zen on Binance, then you have an option to start your mint on Ethereum too. So we're thinking Zen could act as this uniting force across all chains. And of course, from the marketing perspective, it's pretty good design. We obviously see it from the global rank on every chain. If we add all of the global ranks together, we see well, let's count it real quick. So I would say about 60 or 70 million addresses have been used on 9 different chains, which is we would not have been be able to achieve if we were just stayed on Ethereum. So we're definitely achieving the goal of bringing Zen ecosystem to every chain and letting people know that we exist and you can go anywhere you like.
Cool. I appreciate that. And then last question, and I'll be done. But just as far as the Fair Crypto Foundation, so for me personally, I'm just still trying to wrap my head around all of it. Just it's been an awesome journey. These past 40 some odd days, just with Zen, and I don't necessarily want to go out and just start telling everyone until I start really understanding it for myself and multiple angles. But just when it comes to the Fair Crypto Foundation, what's kind of the initiative like moving forward with that? Obviously Zen is the big part of that, but when it comes down to just first principles and things like that, what's something that the community can do to kind of help others? I know there's a lot of streamers in here, and I don't stream and haven't done that yet, but do you think there's other ways to kind of just kind of spread the word?
Well, I would say there's 2 ways. So if you're just a user, then you can definitely talk about the Zen internal mechanics, like why Zen is the safest cryptocurrency out there. And when I say safest, anything that you can buy on an open market and you send people your real money uh, will not necessarily be particularly safe because things are volatile. Now, Zen is safe from a perspective of you're able to be a minter. You can mint Zen for free. You just pay a little bit of gas, and you can choose your gas exposure. For example, on the weekend, you pay $3 on Ethereum, you pay 30 cents on Binance, you pay 5 cents on Polygon, and you pay half a cent on Phantom. So you can practice first principles and self custody with Zen as a user on any chain you like. Now, if you're a builder, we definitely encourage all the builders out there to build protocols on top of Zen and use Zen as a token and produce and create more utility. So my message to builders out there: let's build. Let's all build together. ZenFTs is one of those application layers that we're building because we want to show and lead by example, to show people that Zen can definitely be used as a token of exchange rather than as a token of store of value, which is what we see in Bitcoin, for example.
Cool. And I know it tapped into a couple just different streams, so I feel like I'm up to date. But as far as timeline goes for this NFT, that's going to be in the next couple of weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're working with the auditors right now. We're obviously, I would say it's kind of interesting that these NFTs are more complicated than the Zen itself. So smart contract has only 400 lines of code. It's pretty basic, but it does what it does, and it does it really well. When it comes to ZenFTs, which is an application layer, the code isn't much, but the game mechanics behind it is much more complicated, because obviously you have your rare series, which is 1 through 10,000. Then you have your limited series, which will run for a year. We also want to make sure that the art is adequate. It's interesting. It's well understood. There's also the common um, uh, collectible Zen out there that you don't have to burn anything. You can just mint free Zen NFTs and without any sort of Zen sacrifice of any kind. But it will still work as a bulk minter. So you will it's very utilitarian or functional, where rather than creating many different wallets, you just commit to one ZenFT, choose the number of VMUs, choose the amount of dollars you want to spend on gas, whether it's Ethereum, Phantom token, or Magic, which is the Polygon token, or BNB, which is Binance. So there, the complexity is that we're it's almost like 3 different features in one, and we want to make sure it works well. So we're not really rushing into getting it out there, because we want the market and the users definitely understand what they're getting into. So I'm thinking probably going to be early December when we're going to do the launch. And right now you can play with NFTs on the testnet too. So we do get a lot of reports of people playing with NFTs today, and we're collecting those reports and we're fixing anything that needs to be fixed. We just want to do it right, and we want to be very transparent as far as where we are.
Cool. That makes sense. I really appreciate you guys, and thanks for having me ask questions.
Thank you, Simple Waters. You've been around for a long time. Appreciate your efforts. It's really interesting with Zen because it's such a lightweight protocol, and that it has its adoption on all these different chains. And it's interesting then to compare the different chains and to see how a lightweight protocol like this can function on all of this. And I think Zen is doing a great job in tearing down the barriers between each chains. Now, what we're doing with these NFTs is we're amplifying adoption. I'm so incredibly excited for this because all of these chains have their different NFT communities as well. So not only are we going to level up these Zen adoption to the NFT communities, we're also going to break down the barriers between them and have different NFT communities, hopefully starting to interact with each other as well. So a lot of people ask us what they can do to help. I would say education, guys, is the most important thing. Help people and help them just to get a foot in the door of the whole beauty of Zen. Have them just play with the minting process, and they can even do it on testnet if they're afraid, and educate them, because the mechanics of this is so interesting, and there's no limit to the different ways that we need to educate people if we're serious about going for mass adoption. So education is key here. Thank you, Simple Waters. Busy ETH, do you have a question?
Hey, yeah, I have a question. It's more about the chains. So I've just really been minting on Ethereum, but I do want to go into the other chains. But I was wondering how I'd know which chain has the most potential to be the most valuable. So what kind of metrics should I be looking at?
Well, we all know that Ethereum has been around for the longest, so likely it's going to be remain the leader in just the amount of the economic energy that's being moving around. And I would say that the metrics that I generally look at is the TVL. So if you go to Google and you Google blockchain TVLs, and I think DeFi Llama actually can give you that report. So you can look and see what are the top chains by the total value locked. And I think Ethereum has the most value, probably followed by Binance, and then Polygon and various others. Phantom is on that list as well. So that is something that is always moving because, as we all know, Ethereum just went through the merge, and that affected the way that it works. So yeah, I mean, I'm personally sticking with Ethereum because I don't want to be tracking my wallets on every chain. But I do go to other chains just to see how they work and if they work well. But I would just me personally, I would stick with Ethereum. But if people like Phantom, they can definitely be on Phantom if that's if that's something that's of interest. So that's what's really great about it. You can just pretty much be anywhere. But the I would say that the total number or the value that you get from different chains is that first of all you need to look at the TVL, then the number of users that is using Zen obviously on or just using the chain in general, and the volume of transactions too. So you can open their explorers and see how many transactions per day each chain has. So the more transactions, the better, obviously, because that signifies the chain activity or on chain activity.
Okay, thanks.
All right, let's hear some more questions.
I'm really excited about exploring the different NFT communities. That's something I personally haven't explored enough on the different chains. I know, for instance, like Dodge Chain wants to have a thriving NFT community. Haven't looked into anything of that yet. Here we have Olav Athena. Well,
Yeah, hey guys, when you decide to speak, don't forget to turn on your microphone.
Oh yeah, no, I was just waiting that Zenzu finished talking because we always talk over each other. So I have a question about Richard Hart because he blocked ZenCrypto Twitter account, and just because we posted a video with your answer to his thought, and he talks about Zen as spam, and which is untrue because when you go and talk with people in different communities, you see that it's the people that are minting Zen with multiple wallets. So who is he to say that we cannot use different many wallets? We need to create just one, and but evidently he likes to discriminate transactions, and which is completely contrary to what he preaches, because he's preaching censorship resistance and free speech, and it's the opposite because he blocks people just for nothing. So so you can see his track record with Zen. He blocks people, he talks bad about Zen, and I'm wondering what he will do when Zen will launch on Pulse-chain. And do you think that he can censor it? And if he decides to do it, what will you do? And right now, it seems like he's just signaling to not launch there. What do you think?
So the question of Pulse Chain, if it ever launches, which I hear that people have been waiting for a long time for Pulse Chain to launch. Obviously, the Hexagon community has been waiting for Pulse. I am all for chains to be launched. I think the more chains, the better. I think all of us together can build a better future by doing things differently. I was kind of a little bit bummed that that Pulse Chain did not launch, and now that Ethereum went through the merge, now it's going to be a copy of Ethereum 2. I guess it's fine. I mean, I'm not really fond of copies of any kind. I think there's plenty of replicas everywhere. But hey, if people want to create a copy, that's cool. Um, in terms of Zen potentially being blocked or not on Pulse Chain, if Pulse Chain does launch, I definitely want to deploy um, Zen on Pulse Chain. Original thinking for Pulse was that it's going to copy the state of Ethereum, so everybody who minted Zen should have Zen on Pulse Chain. Now, if the team behind the Pulse Chain decides that Zen is a scam token and it shouldn't be copied, it's really, I guess, the debate is going to be the world versus Pulse Chain, whether Pulse Chain is really decentralized or not when the team behind it decides to censor or to create censorship behind any particular token. Now, again, going back to Zen's origin, our team, the team behind Zen, do not have Zen originally. We're minting Zen together with the community, so this is as close as the decentralization can be, as close as the first principles as can be. Now, if Pulse decides not to, or decides to reject Zen as a viable token, and it could be philosophical reasons, it could be technical reasons, um, who knows, right? Ultimately, people have a choice. The choice is that should they be on Pulse and minting Zen there, or should they be somewhere else? People have a right to choose, and that's why I think we, even before, we thought about not being exclusive to a particular chain. So I'm curious. I mean, ultimately, it isn't a question of Zen right now. The question is, when will the Pulse even launch? And if it does, how will it work? Will it be just an exact copy of Ethereum? Does the world really need it, given that there's plenty of options like Binance, Polygon, Phantom, Avalanche? I mean, you name it. There's plenty of chains that have cheaper gas. So I'm curious in terms of what would happen in the future, and obviously, um, I would be supporting our community. And when I say our community, our target community is the world, not any particular group of people that agrees or disagrees or any sort of tribe. I'm not for tribes. My tribe is the whole world. That's the way I see it.
Thank you. And regarding the community, I remember that in some of your first videos, you said you were amused by the crypto community, by the crazy people, the legends. So now that you have your own one, I'm wondering what do you have to say about the crypto people? You know. Uh,
Well, I am the crypto people myself. I've been in crypto for a while. I'm not really surprised, really, by anything. Zen welcomes everyone. Um, so we're just trying to build a better world together with everyone else. So I mean, in my life, in crypto and outside of crypto, I have met all kinds of people. So nothing really surprises me.
Thank you, Olutina. We have Shahan and 10. Do you guys have a question?
Awesome. Hey, Jack. Thank you so much for hosting this. I really share your vision for kind of like a multi-chain world. I think that's the right approach. One thing I recommend actually that you take a look at is Pocket Network. They do decentralized RPCs. I know you guys had some trouble with Infura at some point, but I recommend you look into them. But I had a question regarding stable coins. And then, so I had two questions. One is regarding your view on stable coins right now. And second is regarding what kind of dApps you plan to build around Zen and the Zen ecosystem to kind of bring more utility and function to the coin.
So the question about the stable coins in general, I mean, well, there's all kinds of questions right now. I mean, we know that USDC seems to be the safest bet right now. Though I would say I would much prefer something like DAI. DAI is built in a very decentralized manner. It lives inside a contract. It's pegged against Ethereum. Nobody really controls DAI, and nobody can block it. Where USDC can blacklist certain addresses and make USDC unavailable. So not really a fan of having people be able to do that. Tether has some issues with releasing information as far as their audit and whether they really have the funds to maintain the peg, like so to speak. So yeah, I mean, there are some choices out there. I hope there would be more choices. Hopefully, we're gonna avoid the fiascos like we have had with Luna in the future. In terms of building dApps on top of Zen, I mean the possibilities are endless. So right now we're very deep into this NFT development, but afterwards we do see some other potentials for DeFi protocols being created, specifically staking Zen for yield or staking Zen to get other type of financial instruments. That's definitely a possibility. But what really excites me the most is not what we're gonna build, but what the world is gonna build on top of Zen.
Yep.
So we're looking for communities to build interesting things, and we want to support them.
So on that point, Jack, are there, maybe this is something in the near future, but let's say there's a group of people that had a really interesting take. Is there like any like workshop sessions that you're doing, or spaces like this or Discord sessions to kind of talk through that? Is that part of an ongoing effort right now?
It's very early at this point. We're trying to build or to create Telegram groups where people can join in, specifically on the developer side, and just throw ideas around. We're also looking at interesting protocols out there that's currently running, and we're trying to engage with those teams to offer Zen as a viable alternative for staking, for example. So Popcorn team has definitely done it. They have created a method for staking Zen, and I think they just messaged me just recently. They said that 20,000 people or 20,000 addresses have staked Zen on their dApp. So that's definitely exciting to see. And you can see their TVL and everything if you go to popcorn.finance or popcorn.network. Right now, the TVL there for Zen is close to $20,000. It's paying 183% APR versus, I guess, the dollar staked. So it is interesting. I mean, it's definitely early. They're one of the first ones to do it. I'm hoping we're going to find more teams to do it too.
Cool. Thank you, Jack.
Just on that with Popcorn, I think they're also announced recently that they're going to launch on all the different chains that Zen is launched on this staking option for Zen holders to stake on their protocol. And this is what's really interesting. This is what we want to see. We want to see DeFi protocols who are permissionless, who are non-custodial, who live up to your key or crypto. Really understand the value of having the Zen network, and then working in conjunction with Zen and the Zen community to make complementary solutions. So I think they're really spearheading and showing everyone this is something. This is how you can do it. So that's very interesting. I think they have like a couple of billions Zen stake, if I'm not mistaken, already. So that's fun to see.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Shohan.
Yep.
Sorry, something to say?
Go ahead, Zensu.
Yeah, we have 10. You've been waiting for long, and then David Kiefer after. Thank you, Shohan.
Good evening, Mr. Jack. Good evening, everybody in this space.
How's it going?
Cool. The last time is like I couldn't formulate very well my question. When it comes to Zen NFT, we are coming into a bulk mint stuff right now. So is will be there some special like let's say legendary one that you can set a main term day at max 400 days to infinite, so that after the 400 days, if you don't claim your Zen token, after that you can still claim it, because the way the thing is like after 7 days, all your Zen that you didn't claim go. Am I right on this point?
Yes, you're right. After 7 days of anything that's unclaimed within the Zen smart contract, it's just going to go away. So it will the penalties will pile up to 99%. You'll still be able to claim 1%. Even with ZenFT, it's just going to disappear if you're late. So that's how that works.
But is it possible to have some let's say legendary that you can request to burn like 1 billion of Zen, so to set a minimum days of 400 days and to infinite, so you cannot claim before the 400 days, and after the 400 days you can leave it to infinite. Anytime you want you can claim without any penalty. Is it possible?
No, that's not possible because the Zen contract is immutable, so we cannot change the penalties.
Okay, thank you. This was my question.
That's one thing, and also it's the fact that it's a proof or participation protocol. So it's kind of interesting the design of these mechanics, because you sort of need to make it comprehensible for most people, which sort of means you can't have infinite amount of possibilities, because that's just going to confuse the vast amount of people. So you need to keep it very simple, and you could offer like infinite amount of possibilities here and there. Just the fact that we're doing now with these NFTs, which is like a really fundamental thing to understand. If you come from the viewpoint of, you're just a vanilla C ranker and minting normally, the added functionality you can do now is unlock that weighting value, that weighting economic energy, so to speak, and start trading with it. So from a Zen perspective, this is a revolutionary added utility and added benefit. But it's sort of involved in the proof of participation that you need to interact with the protocol 2 times. And this goes for the same with these NFTs. See these NFTs as, you can see it as a bulk minter, which allows you to do multiple C ranks at once. And but you still have to come back at maturity date. There's still the same penalties if you're late, up to the 7 days. So after on day 8, this NFT you're holding is just going to be valued to 1% as usual.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. I get this point. But as long tomorrow is not promised, and 400 days, like 1 year, we don't know. Some you can get sick and go to the hospital, spend 1 month there. So all your 400 days you have been waiting, is just gone for just like that. I think I don't know. You people are the builders, and maybe it will be possible for you people to build something on top of or some dexes that can look at those issues. I don't know, even if the dex will claim and take like 50% or 20%, if I stake my NFT that I have minted, I have a yes, I say I have minted, no problem. You could have been more secure than.
Yeah, I think there's, and we can see it already, guys. It's been just a few weeks, really. We just launched like less than 40 days ago, and already see things popping up every day. So there's going to be like an infinite amount of possibility anyway of people building different functionalities to satisfy whatever need you have, and this is just amazing, really. But again, it's like a community effort to help educate people and to teach them about first principles, and one of them is of course transparency and non-custodial protocols. Like we really encourage people to maintain their custody, and involved in that also comes education and responsibility. So we want to see things faster, but we also want to have people be mindful of security. But yeah, I think I can hear the keyboards. If you want a stock tip, you should buy keyboards. I think those are going up like forever, because the developers are just pounding those keys. As you can hear it, I can hear it.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
So we have David Kiefer. Did I say that right?
Hey everyone. Yeah, you got it right. You got it right. Thanks, Jack, for this wonderful project. And I don't see GRC in here, but I would give him a shout out. Thank you, GRC, for everything you do. Watch a show every day. The question I have with the ZenFT is, when on a daily basis I go into the Zen front end and I take a wallet and I run the function to mint, and I see what my gas cost is going to be, and depending on the gas cost I make the decision yes or no to reject or confirm. In the ZenFT, you're going to set the number of VMUs, I think, or what they're called, and you're going to then set your maximum amount of gas or USD or whatever value of the gas you want to spend on those total wallets. So let's just say I want 100 wallets or 100 VMUs, and I want to spend $100. Is it going to work in the way that it works now, in that when I run the function, I can confirm, and it's going to say yes, you can do it for this, or no? Or can I set it like a limit order where I want to spend $100 for 100 wallets, and I confirm it, and then over time, when that GUI or the gas drops to that price, it will fill, or will incrementally fill each wallet when those, I guess it couldn't do that because then your days would be different, but or is it going to sit in limbo until it gets down to that number that you agreed to commit to, $100 for 100 wallets, and if it never gets there, it never fills? How does that functionality work? How is it going to work?
Yes, so it is possible to specify something very similar to a limit order with your MetaMask. You can specify the base fee and the priority fee. And generally, what I've been experimenting with, like for example, I know that over the
week. Was my question clear?
Yeah, it was very clear. Yes. So what I was experimenting with on Thursday or Friday, when the gas prices are 20 or 25 GUI, I know that on the weekend the prices may go down to 9, 10, 11 GUI. I would set my mints with the advanced option in MetaMask, where I can specify 10 GUI in total. And what happens is that the MetaMask will send the transaction into the blockchain.
Did I drop out? Did anybody? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you, David, and I can also hear you, Jack.
Okay, so if he doesn't hear me, then he'll get my my answer on later on the replay. But
yeah, I don't hear Jack. I heard you respond that you can hear me.
Yeah, looks like Twitter Space is glitching. But anyway, the limit is possible to set on the advanced settings in your MetaMask, and then the blockchain will execute your transaction whenever the GUI falls low enough. Otherwise, it's just going to sit there forever. Potentially, it may get rejected. So then, maybe.
Yeah, and just to clarify on that as well, we're getting a lot of questions on that. If you compare it to a normal claim of C rank, it's much more simple than you might think, because the inputs that you're providing is basically how many VMUs, and one VMU equals to one C rank, so that's the same. You're going to choose the maturity date, and then there's going to be third input, which is going to be how much Zen you want to burn, if you want to burn. That input might actually be through what kind of category of NFT you want to acquire. So some the rare and limited will require you to spend to burn Zen. The third category, which we're going to call probably collector, won't allow you to. You don't need it's basically a free Zen NFT, just as Zen is free, free plus gas. So how do you calculate the gas cost for that? It's very simple. So the gas limit for a normal claim of C rank is 180,000. So if you do 100 BMUs, you simply take 100 times 180,000. So that's 18 million for your calculation. So it's 18 million times the GUI times the price of ETH divided by billion, and then you have your gas cost in ETH. So yeah, I guess, Jack, you can do just normally set the priority fee as you would normally. There's no added complexity with this NFT.
Well, what I'm not talking about the burn NFT. I'm talking about the batch minting, where I want to mint 100 wallets for whatever 400 days, and I only want to spend $500. So that puts me at a $5 per wallet gas. Is it going to fill or execute the contract when gas hits $5 for me, or do I have to keep coming back and trying when gas gets down to $5 or $1? Do you know what I mean? Is it going to sit and wait for the $5 target, or is it going to have to be executed when the circumstance is ready?
So it's going to be waiting on the blockchain, so you don't have to come back and keep changing it. Once you execute the transaction, it just waits in the queue.
Did you hear that, David? Once you push through the transaction, it's going to wait there in the queue, so you don't have to redo it.
Okay. So when gas drops to the level that I've specified, it will execute. I'm not worried about getting rare or limited or whatever. I just want to batch mint 100 wallets. I put in $2, times 100, $200 in gas. And then once, whatever day that happens to happen on, it will execute. Correct?
That's exactly right.
I think we're gonna that's exactly right, David. I think we're also gonna do some special warnings because we know from the launch of Zen and like other sort of like NFT drops, I think the last big one that was sort of problematic was it the other deeds from the Yuga Labs, where a lot of people lost a lot of money. I think we're gonna come out well in advance before and educate the community a little bit about tips and tricks, not to lose money, and how to handle these things properly. There's a few things to think about. Yeah, we've been going on for some time. Jack, thank you so much. Amazing answers as always. This is something that we might try to do at least more on a daily basis, so you guys can come in and ask whatever. Jack, do you have any final words? Any final last words for today? For you, it's just the beginning of the day. It was cool when I was flying from Hawaii to South Korea. You're flying above that the limit, so you're losing one day in a second. But yeah, you just began your day. I'm at the end.
Yeah. Let's get one more question from More World Peace.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This your boy Crypto, bro. The DJ,
It,
more world peace, though.
it,
What's up, Jack? What's up, Zillions? Um, yo, real quick. I just want to touch on those NFTs. I feel like everybody is overthinking it. I feel like NFTs are another first principle layer on top of NFTs. And just speaking from batch minting with other things, I feel like you get a lot of experience, or like you're not going to care so much about what you're trying to do, because the Zen is going to be the end game. So like I feel like if you don't think so much about how you're trying to game it, you're going to have a better time just enjoying the experience, because it's still blockchain, and it's going to be really cool, like having those Zen NFTs just chilling in my portfolio. But I just wanted to ask, now that kind of Zen NFTs are starting to develop their core like appearance, right? Like from how they internally work to like how they're gonna perceive on the blockchain. I feel like they've I just, while listening to this, I heard you kind of separate uh, the Zen torrent as like its own protocol, and then like the product. One of the products is the Zen NFTs. So like, is there ever going to be a roadmap or something for the Zen torrent protocol, using the Zen protocol? Because that's kind of how I'm retrieving it now. Like I'm seeing like, this is just me, crypto bro, just saying hopium type vibe right now. So don't take this as anything serious. But like, I hear people straining about this idea of gas, and like, can I mint my Zen at the end? Like, is there a plan, maybe in the future, to have like a buddy system to help end those mints, so that people can get Zen on, like, it's like, like you go into debt in the real world and then somebody buys your debt. Is there any roadmaps or anything like that to kind of start developing that comfort of how the future can perceive the Zen torrent protocol?
yeah. So is your question about ending the mint and paying for the end mint because you need to pay a little bit of gas? Is that the question?
Yeah, like, because I mean, it's like apparent that everyone's just kind of skeptical about, are they going to be able to afford it at the end? And I mean, I think now that's like the problem that needs to be solved. And when it comes to development, like, that's what we're going to develop to solve. And that's like really my question is like, is there any plans on having something set up to help people with the gas fees?
Yeah, we've been thinking about this actually. It is possible that if you're minting 1 million Zen or 10 million Zen or whatever the number is, then you should be able to uh, basically sell a portion, or somebody else will sell a portion for you, and you will owe them this mint that you're producing. So likely we will produce a DeFi protocol that will allow you to borrow, kind of like a flash loan, so that you can complete your mint knowing that Zen is coming out.
Yeah, see, that's like that epic, because like I don't know, listening to you just now, like now, I've always said that I think the top five cryptocurrencies haven't really been established yet. Like we kind of have the top two, but like three, four, and five are like, we don't know what those are really going to be in the next 10 years. So like now I kind of envision, this is just me saying what I'm saying, but I like envision like Zen being on that ladder because of how accessible it is when it's respecting those first principles, right? Like one of the things that I tell people when I tell them about Zen is like, it costs $9,000 for like an ASIC miner to just start Bitcoin mining. And then even Ethereum nodes, you need like 32 Ethereum, which is like way too much money. But Zen, you literally mint it with whatever's available, on chain, whether it's $3, $5, whatever the hell. But like that point of entry of getting your own crypto, it just seems like we've never seen this before in the industry. So, having things like that help, in my opinion, onboard new people, because they want to see the literature and be able to read and articulate, like, how am I not going to get stuck in this NFT? And like that could maybe enlarging even the crowd even larger, because they'll be like, oh, there's a fail safe, you know, and that's just something I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, definitely. A very valid point, and we're very aware that this sort of situation will come up.
Hey guys, I have it wouldn't be a Xenian day if we didn't involve the community. I have some homework for you. We are coming out with this NFTs and we're very excited. And we're going to have a rare and a limited and a third category, which we're probably going to call collector. We're making a few minor changes from the light paper that we released before we heading into audit. Now, the rare category, we're going to have 3 different classes. We have the names for the 7 different classes, which is in the third. We call it common now category. It's ruby, opal, topaz, etc. But we haven't decided 100% yet what the names are going to be for the 5 classes in the rare category. And we could make them like any other NFT project, which would work. We could name them mythic, legend, and stuff like that. But if you have some really good ideas, post them in Telegram. We're going to watch out for them. You have an opportunity here to be the guy or girl who figures out the best way how to communicate the different class names. We have some pretty good ideas as well, but why not include the community in something like this? So if you have any ideas, guys, please share them. It would be great.
Yeah, absolutely right, Zen. So we want to get the community involved in all of the creative aspects of something what we're building.
Yeah, and there's I think we're like, just the fact that we are doing a white paper, we're throwing it out. We've been going about this since Genesis. Throughout the light paper, got a huge amount of feedback, and that was such a positive experience for us to have everyone involved. So I hope you guys feel this is something that we're doing together. This is a movement which has very high goals of adoption, and we're very serious about going all in for that. So thank you so much for everything you do. There's an enormous amount of people who are contributing every day. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, so that's it from me. Jack, I hope you have a great day.
Yeah, you do too. Thanks for co-hosting. I think in conclusion, I wanted to say thanks to everyone for joining, and thanks to the community for building or minting Zen together with us. We definitely want Zen to be the revolution in the crypto space. The bar has been set so low by all the I guess the pioneers, like so to speak, and we can explain it just by understanding that this space is fairly new, and we wanted to raise the bar for the first principles for blockchain to be available and adaptable by everyone out there. So Zen is the revolution, and we want everybody to take control uh, of their self custody, of their economic energy, and to participate together in this friendly, non-threatening, non-tribal type of experiment. And this is something that could really get huge, because we do see the numbers even from the, I would say, 40 days since we launched. The numbers have been staggering, and we're going to continue to build and continue to evangelize first principles the way that it's been envisioned by the Satoshi's white paper. So I'm very happy and very honored to be involved in it, and it isn't just my effort; it's everybody's effort. So it's super great. Okay, guys. Thanks again for joining. This Spaces has been recorded on YouTube as well. We will try to come up again tomorrow. So bring in your questions. Do not hesitate to ask anything. No questions should be held back. Just you should feel completely free to just talk about anything you want, anything that's in your mind, in your soul. Just bring it in, and we will discuss it. thanks, guys. It's been a great opportunity to speak with the community, and I hope to see you again at some point in the future.
Thank you very much. Good night, guys. Good morning, wherever you are.
Good night, good morning, good afternoon. It's kind of like reminds me of that Jim Carrey movie. Good afternoon, good morning, and goodbye, or something like that. I remember him saying it.